Hi, I'm Steven, and welcome to Season 4! Ayo! Yeah, bet you didn't know we ended last season, because we didn't record it all for 3 months. Season 4!
I don't think we knew we ended Season 3 until the 3
Yeah.
months ended. And then we're like, well, I guess Season 3 is done.
Sorry
about that.
Yep.
2020 happened, which you would
So,
think we would have more time to record, but we didn't.
Well, let's go through some of the highlights of the channel. You know? Like, let's just start back at the very beginning, Paradox.
The very beginning as in Season 1 or the very beginning as in Season 3?
What? So, it all started back in March of 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
So basically, I was bored on a voice chat one night in a Ben 10 fan server. And it was like, we were just talking, you know, and I was like, you know, these conversations are interesting to me. Let's record.
Lore episode.
Huh?
Lore episode.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what this is. I bet you weren't expecting this.
Lore.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even introduce you. This is Paradox.
Yep, I'm Paradox.
Yeah. Hi.
Tune in next week when we start the GSMP.
Wait, we're doing that next week? I thought it was the week after. So, it all started. So, we were just like, you know, hanging out. And then I was like, hey, we should just record this. And they were like, why? And I'm like, listen, just hop into a group chat and we're going to record this.
Why? Because I'm bored and I'm a nerd.
Exactly. So, we hopped in and we just recorded this thing. And we named it the Spherical, named after Michael Cera. But
Hold on. You always pronounced it Sierra. Why are you saying Sarah now?
Because it was a joke that wasn't funny.
Okay.
Where if I pronounced it wrong, it would be quirky and give our personality podcast. Wait.
Give our personality podcast.
So we recorded the episode, and I was like, hey, this is fun. So then we went on, and I think we recorded an episode 2, but we didn't do anything with it.
I feel like that's how people begin as arsonists. They're just like, wow, burning stuff is fun.
Exactly, except this time I didn't get to do something fun and cool to go on my report. Instead, it was just a podcast.
On your permanent record.
Exactly. So then we just moved on into this, like, we moved on to like a higher thing, and it was just a Discord thing. It's server, yeah. Discord server. This is a good episode, Paradox. So then...
we say Discord, but it's the Minecraft server. We've been lying to you this entire
Yeah,
time.
this is a Minecraft-based podcast. So basically, I went on there, and we recorded episode 2, but I never released it because I never got around to editing it. This was before we got Paradox on the team, who takes over most of the editing gigs. And by most, I mean I've edited, 3 episodes since you've come on? Yeah, 3.
No. I think you've literally only edited 1 episode since I came.
Oh, yeah, since you came on, it's been 1.
Because,
yeah.
Sunny edited, the first episode, and then I took over from episode 2 onward, and you edited the second Sonic episode.
Yeah. And I edited the very first episode. I remember that. I think Sunny episode...
You edited the first episode with Kuro the artist?
Yeah, and Sunny edited the Larry episode.
The audio?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, the audio, because it was glitching out, remember? I don't remember. If we're being honest about that specific.
Okay, I guess that makes more sense.
So then we were just like, hey, the Spherical is a pretty stupid name. And one of the members on the original Spherical roster, who isn't with us anymore, mostly just because of creative differences, AJ.
Yeah, like they didn't die.
Yeah. No one on the Gcast has died yet.
To our knowledge, we have no idea about a coup.
Shit, you're right. So he pitched to us this idea of changing the name to Gamesphere. He drew the original logo. And so we liked it. We all voted.
It wasn't
because
a terrible logo. I will say that my logos are good too.
Yeah. Hypocrite. Oh, what?
Sorry, what?
What? So basically what happened is we did this. And at the time he had close ties with this internet personality, Kuro the artist. So
AKA
we were able to...
what is now known as the Ink Tank.
Yep, back then the channel was still just called Kuro the artist, right?
Yeah, it was. That's why I said now it's the Ink Tank.
Yeah. And so we got him on, and that helped give us a good boost at the beginning. Because there was already installed viewership to, like, do this. So, like, we came out with that episode. It came out. That episode's horrible, by the way. Like, have you seen that recently, Paradox?
Not recently, no. Also, I don't know if you could hear my ASMR just now rolling around a piece of tinfoil.
I can. It's beautiful. So it's horrible because we start off with like 4 people, right? And then more people get added onto the call. Like, it turns from a group of 4 into a group of 6, and then someone leaves. And I don't even introduce, like, a gut rot who comes in for no reason. I give in a horrible segue, and we continue on with our conversation.
Didn't James leave, like, 10 minutes into the episode?
Yeah, it's a horrible episode, and we lose focus.
James is literally only there for 1 episode.
Exactly. We lose focus quickly. We refer to the chat a bunch, but we don't actually include any visuals because I was too lazy to edit that in post. So you have no idea what we're talking about some of the times. And Kuro goes like, "Hey, look at this," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's cool," and everyone just doesn't describe it. It's a train wreck. Like, looking back on it, it's like, man, why did we continue?
An infinity train wreck.
Hey.
Episode when?
Is this? Yeah, it's foreshadowing. So.
Foreshadowing season 4.
So then, like, after that, we realized that, like, hey, this is cool, and we got one big, like, personality on. Let's try to get others. And so we got Larry Schwartzon, the creator of Kappa Mikey. He's you know him if you've seen our channel.
We've only really talked to him about Kappa Mikey in the 2 episodes he's been on, but he has done more stuff. He did the Speed Racer animated series. He did Three's Delivery. He did
what's that one live
Wrestling Federation?
The one live action skating show that probably produced the most interesting fact that we've gotten in an episode before.
Oh shoot! I was looking. Literally, this is not a joke. This is not a bit. I was looking through a bunch of papers the other day, looking for something, and I found a sketch I had done for like an avatar for Larry when we were originally planning to have him on a second time, and I did like write down all the shows he did, and I had that on there, and I cannot remember what it is, and I don't know what I did with that paper.
So Paradox, I'm posting in podcast chat a link to a bunch of people who we tried to get on. Okay? And it's a bunch of just like YouTubers I liked. And
did we try and contact all these people? Because I don't think we did.
We contacted a few. I know. Let's see. We tried.
Donald Trump on here.
I think that was Biff's idea.
Why did we want to?
I think it was Biff's idea.
Let's see. Why we have so many YouTubers on here, and like a few people in industry, and then artists. One of whom was is Alex?
I believe so. I I think
we just have like him, like in red because I think. Did he blacklist us?
I don't know why it's in red. I remember for a fact that we did an episode with him. I just never finished editing it because by that point, like, we already changed our name to Gamespherecast. I already introduced it as Sierracast. I'm like,
which episode was that? Was that episode 4 or 5, or was that one of the Sierracast?
It was Sierracast. It was Sierracast. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, this is just like a list of people. If you want to put this on.
Who the heck is Bleeding?
I think that was one Biff suggested. He's an artist though. I think he made a Billy and Mandy comic. Yeah.
Maybe. Kiwi, that was my friend Kiwi Lee Scipio. We had wanted to have her on. That definitely never happened because I had mentioned wanting to have her on around the time when her first book released. Yeah. And that didn't happen. Over the past few years, it's been hard to keep in contact with her because she's hardly online, but like she's always busy, so it kind of makes sense. She had a second book in the works, and that's just been in limbo for like the past few years. But enough about this.
So
this wasn't even updated for the people we tried to contact after this. It's like we tried. So, I don't remember if we ever talked about this in Season 3, but we had wanted to have, what was his name? What was his name? The guy from Den Mother and Zeke Luther. Or Den
crap,
Brother
I don't remember it. Oh, that's a funny story, though. Who is it? Let me look it up. Zeke. Yeah, Hutchdano! Yeah! Yeah, you want to tell the story?
Like, we can't... Okay, so... I'll tell the story. So, Steven reached out to him on Twitter, right? And we're like, this is never going to work. This is never going to work. This is never going to work. And he actually tells us to email his secretary. So we email his secretary. I email her because out of all of us, I decided that I was the most professional of us who would type out the email. So I sent the email to her because his I don't remember his secretary's name.
It's Bree Austin.
Right. So I email her. 11 days go by before she finally gets back to us. Over a week. And she's like, okay, cool. What are some questions you're going to ask him? And, like, is this going to be in person and whatever? And I think this is, like... I mean, obviously we wouldn't have had him in person because we don't have a studio. We're literally, like, in a Discord call recording this with Audacity. So, no way we would be doing this live, like, in person with him. And over the phone, that definitely wouldn't work. We had... Like, Skype was an option. We've done that with Larry. The two times we've done it with him. 2 times we recorded. So, we're like, over Discord or Skype, if possible. I sent her the questions, which, I think, like, we had some questions about, like, his time on Zeke and Luther, and, like, working on Den Mother, and about if there was any difference working on a movie versus working on a show with Disney, about his time working with Disney. And then what was the other thing he was in? Zombies?
Yeah, I think that was it. Let me pull up the Hutch Channel questions we had. It was
I'm gonna feel so dumb if that wasn't what it was called. Was it Zombievers?
It was something like Zombievers, I think.
So like we were gonna ask him about like how that
and like
was,
his abstract
like,
art and stuff.
About like his experience working in the productions. Yeah,
because like he was
because he's got on his website.
Because like in the email we
And, well, how much were the pair of shoes? How much were the pair of shoes on there? Because I remember Vic looked at it and he's like, "Dude, I could make these shoes and it wouldn't cost as much." What?
Let me get this pulled up. The Hutch Channel. I know for a fact you could pay like
And anyways, like she never got back to us, and this was like over a year ago now. So like, I don't think this is gonna hurt our chances of getting him on
But
the podcast.
you know, we could always just do hashtag.
Especially since like I'm not showing anything. We're not talking about any like private information or whatever. This is like
hashtag Hutch Dano for Gcast. Let's do it, people.
If we do get him on here afterwards, that would be kind of cool, but also like
it would be awkward it would be awkward.
It would be. It's like if we it's like if before the allegations we friggin'
got
asked Dan Snyder to come on the podcast.
Yeah. But yeah, so
I still can't believe that Kuro made the joke he's a fighter Snyder on the first episode.
Yeah, things were wild back then. So then episode 2 happened, and coming off the high of Kuro, I got in contact with Larry Schwartz, who I still am like not like in perfect contact with, but I'm still like I can still try to get in contact with him.
Did Larry ever like
nah, he didn't, but we got good views. I mean, but yeah, no, I'm still in good graces with Larry.
I am excited about his promise that like if they do have any upcoming stuff, he'll let us know so we can talk to him about it. Mm-hmm. That would be really cool.
So that happened, and so coming off of that, we went to episode 3, our first like actual episode, where no like interviewing or anything. This is showing off her personalities, and it's an hour and 5 minutes long. It's one of the longest episodes we've ever made, only being topped by the Harley Quinn episode of last year. And it's just,
gosh, I forgot about that for a hot second, and jeez, that
was not the best episode because my internet cut out and I couldn't understand Biff. It was too much. So we
Oh yeah. So a quick thing about that. Like partway through recording, partway through that episode, like your mic
it went back in time.
Did not pick you up for some reason, but you were picked up on Biff's mic. So I like had to go and like line up where you stopped talking.
Yeah.
And like turn up the volume on Biff's audio track, and like cut out the parts where there was silence because that's where you were talking during, and just raise that up so it's like your audio quality just like went down drastically. And that goes on for like I think 5 minutes, and it's like
that's so
holy
insane.
Crap! What the heck happened?
Yeah.
And I actually happened twice.
No!
Twice somehow. Because your audio was shorter than his for some reason. And I don't know what happened. I think, like... So sometimes Audacity, if you record for a long time, like, parts will drop out, and it will show you if anything dropped out and where it dropped out.
Mm-hmm.
And that might have been the case of what happened, and you just didn't notice or something. I don't know, but like that was a pain in the butt to do, and we have not done a double feature since. Mostly because we haven't really had anything to do a double feature on.
So back on topic with episode 3 happened. That was just a jumble of like mess. No like focus. It was just us talking and generally having fun. I think to date it's probably one of my like. My favorite recording experiences because it was really just like it was just talking, you know, like it was just hanging out with friends. Like it's but it's one of the worst episodes because it had no format. It was just us kind of just talking, and we're not interesting people, and we didn't say anything interesting. We were trying to look for stuff to talk about, and we got questions at the end of it because. I remember at the end of every episode we tried to do this like Q&A thing.
That was you, Arnie, and Aku, right? Aku joined as an artist for like that one episode, and I think you appeared in like another episode, or we want to have him appear in another episode. But like He just
Yeah.
dropped off the face of the planet. Left all the servers that we were in.
Like,
And then, like, Sunny managed to keep in contact with him, but was like, he's going through some stuff right now, so let's not bother him.
Yeah.
And then we haven't talked to
that's the case with a lot of, like, members you don't see. Mainly just because, like, you drift apart on the internet. It's tough to find people. Yeah.
Kind of. I mean, like, Sunny left because...
Oh, yeah, so,
stuff going on.
Real quick.
Gut Rot wasn't really participating
He
much,
left.
so he kind of left. What happened to Mosby?
Oh, my dad died?
Or the other person. That was one of the original.
Yeah, he kind
of...
Yeah, he just kind of drifted away. Like,
went.
naturally didn't see Gcast as being, like, a main thing of his, so he just went away. Like, you know. So after episode 3, if you look at it, there's, like, a year gap where we didn't do anything. This is because, you know, I was...
So that was a lot that happened there. So,
so
a lot to that. So, like...
I was...
Steven...
here, I got this. Okay. So, I was 15 when all this was going on, I think. Yeah, 15. And I was just like...
I sometimes forget you're
and
so much younger than
I had to, like... I was keeping tabs on all of this. And even though, like, I wasn't doing that much work in hindsight, I was really stressed out by this. And then the Aku episode came out with only 40 views. Compared to the, I think it was 400 and 500.
So, I need to talk about this real quick. I'm going to finish my chewing because I just had to take a bite of pizza.
Oh, cold pizza, the best pizza.
Absolutely, it's homemade pizza.
Oh, that sounds
better.
good.
So, you'll also notice that there's a gap between when episode 3 came out. Because, like, episode 1 and 2 came out within, like, a few weeks of each other. And then it's like, we go from April to July. What happened there was my computer got struck by lightning.
I forgot about that.
I left it on while I wasn't home during a thunderstorm. It killed my motherboard. Didn't find out about what was wrong with it until, like, last year, 2019, so 2 years ago, because I didn't have a chance to look at it. But, like, that happened. So I was without Photoshop for a little while, which meant I wasn't able to do the visuals like I did before with the stills and everything. This was before I decided to try out the audio spectrum thing, which we did all throughout season 2 and season 3. You've probably noticed by now that hopefully if Elle has been able to draw up what we hoped she would for this episode, which if you have, thank you so much.
We
Elle.
don't
We
really
don't deserve you. So that was just one image for the entire time. And also I was I had like just got a new editing program, so I was no longer editing in Windows Movie Maker, but like I didn't know anything about it. I literally just had like this one still image I had made and GIMP and the audio for that episode. So I just chucked it all together and released it. But around that time also, like, I was in the middle of finals and stuff for college. Yeah. So that's why it took so long to come out. That's why it got so few views.
By that point, we lost all of our momentum. And so I was just like, you know what?
We lost all of our momentum. We had 3 other episodes recorded that have not seen the light of day. We still have the recorded episodes, which we've talked about doing something with at some point, but like one of those episodes was where I was supposed to debut on the podcast, as well as Chris, back when he was known as Virtual Chris instead of Freeze Ghost, and when he was working on Operation Omnidrive initially.
So
So then the whole thing happened with you, and then you didn't want to work on the podcast anymore. AJ took over. We were going to call it G Squad. He made a new logo and everything. And then for months we didn't do anything with that. And then finally AJ's like, well, we're not doing anything. So Gcast is canceled. And so it was until
I get a message out of the blue.
When just randomly...
Right. It's you.
Well, I was just on... I was on Ediomnitrix's server. And Freeze Ghost was there. I didn't know it was Chris. I did not know it was Chris. I had no idea who this person was. But Freeze Ghost messages me about... No, I saw Sunny was online. And I mentioned to Sunny, I'm like, hey, Sunny. And she's like, oh, hey, Paradox. It's been a while since we talked. I'm like, yeah. Kind of sucks about what happened to Gcast. And then Freeze Ghost just, like, rolls on up into the chat. And it's like, hey, we should do Gcast again. I'm like, okay. So then, like, he makes a new server. And I message Steven, like, hey, we're getting Gcast back together. You want to do it? And then we got Running, which I was surprised we got Running, because Running was one of the original members, and he had kind of gone his own way of stuff. We got Biff back. That was also kind of surprising, because I had not talked to Biff in forever.
And we got AJ back was the thing. We got him back for...
We got AJ back for, like, a little bit. I don't think he even showed up in the first episode, because, like, we had talked about trying to get Rob again. And he's like...
I remember that. I know that, like, we planned, like, one of the most infamous things in, like, just kind of, like, our little personal Gcast history is Spider-Man. Because we were planning a huge Spider-Man episode.
Oh, yeah! We planned a huge Spider-Man episode, and, like, we didn't...
We didn't do anything.
Everybody wanted to be in it. But, like, we couldn't have everybody in it. And then we had... We never actually did that. We kind of did a sort of thing with that in season 3. Let me find the episode. We kind of talked a bunch about Spider-Man in our review of Spider-Man.
And then we also did the
where Freeze Ghost and I we were not seeing eye to eye on how the MCU was handling Spider-Man, and while I can see his points, I'm not gonna discuss them here, I vehemently did not agree with everything he said.
And then we also did the Spider-Man top 10 Spider-Man for Spider-Verse.
Top 10 Spider-Man and women who should be in Spider-Verse. I don't remember what we officially titled it.
That's literally it. Spider-Verse 2, Into the Spider-Verse 2.
See. Spider-Men and Women for Into the Spider-Verse 2, in which us three, Chris, Steven, and I discussed it. Wow. What was it? When did this happen?
It was like a year or two ago. 2019, November.
That was season 2019, November 11th. So over a year ago. So that was like before, like Corona was like a thing then, but like it wasn't being taken quite as seriously then by some people.
So then we started off with reviewing a trailer for Rise of the Skywalker that ended up being this one wasn't the late one, was it? It was the one after the other trailer review we did, right?
Yes, the Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans, because we did it. Okay, that was another one that somehow got delayed like 3 months.
I don't think it was that bad. I think it was 1 month.
In season 2? No. We started the MCU retrospective. That was April 30th, 2019. And then the trailer reaction and thoughts for Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans came out July 26th, 2019. It's like, wow, we didn't learn anything from last season. And I can't remember why that took so long. I think I was just really busy.
Yeah. And, like, we were in the groove of things yet, and... Shit.
Then we did the Far From Home review. We did the
I want
which
I'm so
the thumbnail.
I'm so proud of the thumbnail. I got the Gruden. So the retrospective thing was honestly I still think it is one of the best ideas we've had for like a podcasting because it spanned a long time. The problem is it turns out that everyone in the podcast has seen most of the MCU movies, but anything else we haven't, and we have to do our homework on. Because we were talking about doing Pixar at one point, right? And going all the way up to like Up or Ratatouille. And that didn't happen. And then the DCEU was the big one that we were trying to get done. Turns out...
I mean, you and Ronnie and I think Biff were planning on doing that, or Chris. Because I hadn't seen Wonder Woman. And then
it's because we're never online at the same time. Well, I'm able to record, you know? Like...
And then season 2 is around the time I started popping off with my music. So we did 2 sort of interviews.
Yeah, where we just sat down and I asked him questions about his music and stuff.
One of them... Oh, no. We did one in... ironically, the 6th... Or maybe not ironically. The 6th mini-soda we did for season 2. And the 6th episode...
Oh, right. We have to talk... No, we didn't, but it's a tradition now. We have to talk about mini-sodas and how stupid that is.
Okay, mini-sodas was my idea that kind of went off the rails, as you can see. We did a lot of mini-sodas. So, like, the original way we had done season 2 was I wanted us to do, like, shorter episodes so that we didn't have to get everyone together to record a really long episode. Like, a couple of people could talk about one thing, and that'd be a mini-soda. And we started doing that, and then it's like, we've only got, like, 3 or 4 full-length episodes and a bunch of mini-sodas. And it's like, that doesn't make any sense. So
we just ditched it.
I reordered all of them to be regular episodes, and mini-soda was just, like, a subtitle. But the whole idea was to do a mini-episode. Why mini-soda? Because I thought it would be, I don't know. I wanted a name for it. That was the first thing that popped in my head. Everybody was like, that's dumb. And I'm like, you got any better ideas? And they said no, so we did mini-soda.
Yeah.
And all of our mini-sodas ended up not being very short episodes. The only criteria ended up being if it was under half an hour or not. And I think we literally have one that's like
we have one that's 30 minutes long.
No, we have one that's 30 minutes and 24 seconds long. And we're like...
Well, it had to be. It was a part of the MCU retrospective series.
Because we labeled all the other retrospectives mini-sodas, Some of these I'm proud of, like, how I named them, like, how we did them. And then there's ones, like, ARGs, in which we talked about Minecraft Earth, the FNAF AR game, Pokemon Sword and Shield.
That one still has my favorite podcast moment, to like, one of my favorites, where it's just like, people are talking about how it's an evolution of Farfetch. And I'm like, nah!
Oh, yes, Surfetch!
Like,
Yes! I love
put that on
that came back.
Put that clip again.
To use that clip in I'll play the clip, but like that came up in a mini-soda labeled Leek Duck Nut Version Cheddar Panini, where we talked about some dumb pistachio version of Angry Birds, which I looked up on the what is it? The Lost Media friggin' wiki. And then, like, we looked at some fan art I think people had done for how they thought Surfetched was going to look, because they, like, had a blurred image of it on the Pokemon website so people could see exactly what it looked like. And one was literally just, like, Surfetched with, like, giant sunglasses, I think. Because, like, it looked like there was a black bar over its eyes instead of, like, its eyebrows. And then we talked about Lil Nas X's song, Panini. And, like, he did a shout-out music video
because we just, like, we covered every version of Panini at that point. I think we still have. Yeah.
All 2 versions of Panini. And none of Old Town Road, which was the thing that actually had the meme potential that everybody drained out of it. Which, I don't remember if this was ever mentioned on a podcast episode, but, like, I had gone and made my own remix, kind of Old Town Road. I took, like, the first 2 measures of it and then just repeated it over and over throughout the entire song. Throughout the entire length of the song, which is, like, I did it based on the original length, which is, like, a minute and a half, and, like, added in drums and other stuff to, like, make it sound different for the chorus and whatever. And I'm like, yeah, this was a worthwhile project.
Yep.
And I never released it. And Steven was like, I'll do vocals for it. I'm like, okay. And he never sent me vocals. And it was like, okay.
I haven't even attempted to try it yet.
The world will never hear the Old Town Road old school remix.
So in season 2, we covered we tried out this, like, this was us, like, testing a bunch of things. Like, we had mini sodas, but we also had
oh yeah.
Yeah, we had what is it? We found this on the internet, which to date is still probably one of my favorite things. With Fody. Yes. Because it's I don't remember. I know I came up with the name though.
Did I come up with it? Hang on, because I know I'm like, we should do segments. And like, why would we do segments? And I'm like, because it'd be something interesting to shake things up.
Yeah. And so, like, we were trying that out, and honestly, it's kind of the format that we followed for a bit. And I think we still do a bit. Like, it has a spiritual successor now with like a segmented stuff with GNN, where we just talk about news. Like, that's too short to have a full episode about. Which is cool. What was another one? Another one of our formats that we wanted. Cutting Room Bin, that was it. Because we did that for...
Cutting Room Bin, yeah.
Yeah, you came up with that one.
No, I came up with that one. Where it's like just cutting room floor stuff, but like stuff that was like bad.
Like the golden pistachio.
Like stuff they cut from the game that was stuff they cut from the game that was just plain bad.
And then, like, we just went on to talking about, like, things that were, like, popular, which honestly probably wasn't the move.
Another one I wanted to do, which we never did, was create
right. What?
Because I'm like, we should do a thing where, like, we pick a creator and talk about them. Because around that time was when Jeremy Levy, who voiced Bumblebee in Transformers Cyberverse, which I think season 1 had just finished at that time. He followed me on Twitter, and I asked him about doing an episode on the podcast. He's like, well, I'm busy right now. I'll check back in a few months. And I never got back to him. Never asked him again.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Shoot, did I ask
about
you
what?
DMs, maybe? Because I'm trying to search to see who first mentioned the segments, and I can't find it.
Let me check the DMs. It might have been something in a voice chat. I think you came up with it, though. You were the one. You came up with it.
So I was pretty sure I came up with the idea of Waftodi, but I don't know if I came up with a name.
Yeah. Oh, no. It doesn't matter who came up with what. I still think that, like, we should go back to doing this, because we didn't do them last season. And
Yeah. Oh, another one we did.
Oh, yeah. No, that one wasn't a segment. That was a...
Which we technically did 2, but the first one got lost because I accidentally deleted the
Yeah,
audio.
I like Budgeteer. That one was... So, if you don't know, Budgeteer is a game show where I just looked up, like... I think it was box office recordings. I don't know why it's called Budgeteer in hindsight.
Box
Yeah,
office,
I don't know
box
why it's
office
Budgeteer
earnings.
because it...
And you came up with a name.
I know,
okay?
I know.
Not me.
No, I know.
That one was not me. You looked up like box office earnings and like the list of like horror movies. 'cause
Halloween,
we did
yeah.
it for Halloween. And you're like, which was the highest grossing horror movie of all time, and which is the number 40 slot, or which spot do you think this movie holds? And it was me, Chris,
And we got
and
that
Ronnie.
special Halloween avatars, which we also tried out that season was special avatars. What? Oh,
More ASMR.
eating more pizza, huh?
No, this time I was crunching a Tony's Chocolonely
Nice.
caramel chocolate bar.
We tried out
Follow my OnlyFans
we did special avatars for like episodes and stuff, which worked L to death, our artist, because we would request them after we did the episode because we never knew what we were talking about.
I don't.
That started with Invader Zim, right?
I don't think it necessarily worked her
It's
to
called
death.
hyperbole.
I mean, I'll admit, like, it was kind of on the
Yeah.
spot for her.
Nothing. I was just
What?
I was making a joke saying it's called hyperbole.
Okay. But no, we did ask for a bit, but like, Elle is an amazing artist, but sometimes she makes more work for herself because she like does so much. Like she has
it's
very
great.
detailed work, and that's awesome. But for like a little headshot avatar, where we don't need much details, like some of them she packs a lot into it. It's like, Elle, this is awesome, but you really didn't need to.
So like, what was it? We got the first one was Invader Zim. Then we went on and like we never reused assets, which is probably a mistake. We probably should have started reusing them.
We reused a couple. Like I reused or I thought we reused a couple.
She reused
I can't
the
remember any specific that we reused. I think we used Spider-Man.
Yeah,
the
I
Spider-Man
think.
ones a couple
I know.
times.
Well, there is.
At least one of them.
Yeah,
We
for
used
3
a
episodes in
Halloween
a row,
episode.
we had our Halloween avatars. I know that.
We did Runny's Reverse Flash one. My
Yeah,
Eggman
for
one
the
we
2
did a couple
Sonic
of
episodes,
times.
right? Yeah.
Oh, she did a different one actually for. She did something different for me. For
What was it?
For Eggman.
Did she just take off the tape? Because I know your Halloween one, the whole joke was that it was just tape. And I think she...
Yeah, I think for the Sonic one...
Okay, I'm holding on.
Hang on. For the Sonic one... No, she updated it. So, like, it was more like Jim Carrey's. It's like, I was all, like, exploded. There was, like, my goggles looked different. Like, I was kind of like a ha kind of face. That really doesn't convey the look. Oh yeah, Chris was Sonichu, you were Ninja Sonic, and Biff was like zombie Funky Kong,
Knuckles.
but like with Knuckles instead.
So we just tried out a bunch of things. We did what was it, holiday specials, which wasn't...
Yes, we started doing holiday specials, which I don't think we quite did for season 3, because that we had a few more
and we didn't
episodes
like
for.
honestly the holiday episodes weren't the best, and like we ended on like a kind of a down note, which was the Rise of Skywalker video where I think, what was it, Biff had the bad audio. Yeah,
I think it was Biff had the bad audio,
and
yeah.
this was one of the times where...
And then there was another one start of season 3.
Yeah, because you didn't
There was
have
bad
audio
as well.
for the Sonic one. Just
Oh yeah, so like what happened with that was I at some point had unplugged my microphone because I've got a different computer case now, but the case I had before only had like one, maybe two USB ports on the front, and all the rest are on the back. So my microphone was plugged into one of the ports on the front. Needed to plug something else in. Unplugged my microphone, plugged it back in. And Audacity, which is dumb, decided that when I opened it next, it wasn't going to recognize my microphone as the recording device. So we recorded the entire episode, and I had no audio. I came through a little bit in Ninjas, so like we made it as a joke, where it's like Sonic the Hedgehog review, but Ninja is alone? ?
At all.
And that didn't do very good. That didn't do very well at all. So we decided to do it again, because Chris threatened to leave the podcast over it.
To be fair, he is the Sonic guy.
It was literally like, we told Chris that we were gonna do it, and then he wasn't available, and it's like, well, we're gonna do it anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had him for that one, and that one did better. We had a video, because we tried recording differently for one episode, where we tried using the website Soundtrap. It's supposed to be for, like, collaborating with people with music. But you can also, I saw people also talking about using it for podcasting. So the idea was that each of us would select our own track once we finally got it to work so we could all be in one project, which is a pain in the butt. We each had our own audio track that we recorded onto. And then at the end, the plan was each of us would save our own audio track. Where, like, I could download each of our audio tracks individually. However, after that, we had to save before that could happen. And somehow, Chris lost his. Because there was an issue with it saving, and it just deleted it, and, like, the project got saved after it was deleted, so we couldn't get it back. I got mine in Steven's, and that was around the time when the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 beta that was that was released to the public or whatever, it was leaked. And he talked all about it. He talked about the differences in the levels. He talked about how it included, like, the original music that Michael Jackson had done for it and stuff like that. And it's like, and the similarities between Michael Jackson's versions of the level themes versus the official level themes that were used in the end. And we lost that, and that's
because that was like the first prototype GNN where we each talked about a different topic. Because I remember talking about Magic the Gathering, like, so that was like before season 3 even started. It was like that was going to be the first episode. Then it didn't happen. Yeah,
that was
so yeah, then season 3 happened, and for some reason I contacted Larry, and who knows why, but he said yes again. Thank you, Larry, if you're listening to this. And so we got interview number 2. This time it was a lot more organized because we actually had experience with podcasting, and hopefully, like, the thought is that, like, this will bring, like, more, like, legacy views and things if we can keep the momentum going and stuff. So we unlisted the Rise of Skywalker video since that one wasn't good. And we recorded it and talked, just vibing.
Oh, we didn't unlist that because of Larry. We unlisted that.
Hutch, right. Okay.
And then we never got Hutch.
Okay,
so,
never mind.
We'll
because he asked to actually see our podcast, which is one thing Larry never did, and I'm glad he didn't, because he probably wouldn't have come on. But for real, thank you, Larry, if you're listening to this. So we did that, and then we just started.
I would love to see, like, Larry being like, "Oh, those guys are so nice, so professional." I'm like seeing Chris in an episode and being like, "Oh, this is drastically different."
So we started off with, like, a bang. One of our most viewed videos. It's the most viewed of the modern era of GCast, quote unquote modern. We had another logo redesign. Because after the reboot, we got, of course, a redesign, like a whole new look and stuff. But we had a logo redesign.
I had wanted to do a different logo for the different season because
Yeah.
I wanted this season to be different. And it ended up being something closer to the original logo, but was still kind of a fresh look to it.
Yeah, we got that, but we didn't redo Avatar. So this time with the new season, new Avatar. Hell, that's a joke. We're not expecting new avatars every season. I just have to clarify. So we did that, and then we went on with season 3. Season 3 is probably, other than season 1, like the most iffy one, because that's when we had huge breaks in recording. Like we would go months without recording them and record like 4 episodes in a row. It wasn't the most focused thing, and we talked about stuff. It was good, like it was fun, you know. But like this is when like we realized we were kind of tapped out of like topics, so like record about and things because like you know,
part of it in season 3, part of it was like we moved around to 2020. And like there wasn't much
movies were out, TV shows we never really talked about anyway. And like so there was
it's like none of us really watched the same shows. Like the only show we talked about was Harley
and
Quinn,
that one was planned. Like Biff and I just binged that show in like a week. I think I had an essay due, if I remember correctly, with the Harley Quinn. I had an essay I had to do, and I stayed up till like 3 a.m. like almost every night that week, just binging watching 2 episodes and going to sleep, because I would stay up and work on the essay. It's a short show though, and I really like the show. The episode don't watch. It's probably my least favorite podcast episode, like in terms of just it's too long.
It's all right, but it is really long. Long episodes do not do well for this. I say that, and we're already like almost
but like at least with this one, we're not trying to like I don't know. Like we're actually there are stories with this one. Like whenever it's like we're reviewing something, like we're not professional like film people at all, so we don't know what we're talking about much, so we can't do like 1.5 hour long things reviewing TV shows and stuff, because all we can really review is.
I mean, I have experience critiquing because I went to college.
Oh, boo hoo! Well, you know, I'm.
Why are you booing me? I wouldn't ask you.
I'm a filmmaker.
Why are you booing me? I'm right.
Yeah. So that happened, and so 2020 was just kind of off because our format was shaken up, you know, the excuse every company gives by the pandemic. And we didn't do well bouncing back on our feet.
Our format was shaken up, and like there wasn't anything for us to talk about, and then all of a sudden there was everything to talk about, and nobody had seen it, nobody knew anything about it, nobody wanted to talk about it, nobody had time to talk about it. And then Ben 10 versus
and we
the Universe
recorded
came
that
out.
and did that episode.
We recorded that. We did that episode. That did really well. And then there was a recent thing with the guest we had, E.B. Tricks, where there's allegations that went on about him, I being a close friend of his and being involved with many of the events that people are accusing him of stuff about. Can say that the allegations are not true, but because that kind of put me under a lot of stress being associated with him, everything going on with that, I kind of took a short leave from like working with him for a bit. I've still been in contact with him, and in a hasty move, the episode was removed, which, if it does go back up, probably will be for the better, because I'll have a chance to take out the basically to make it so it doesn't get copyright claimed, because there was
in season 3 what was it
on it because we used clips from the movie. Well, yeah, season 3, but I mean, like, that was the last
I was just gonna say
3, so like, I mean, it's still possible that we could re-upload it, but it's not the same as like with the Scoob episode and the episode where we talked about the new Suicide Squad. Where actually, was that the other one that got claimed? There was two videos that got claimed, and I know.
Yeah, the Scooby-Doo was asking for you. You played
was one of them, which was weird because like it wasn't claimed, and then it was claimed like several months later, and it's like, where did this come from? Like, if you didn't claim it before, like, why?
Yeah, didn't you play the whole entire song?
It was the first. It was the video where Chris and Eric were doing an episode, and they talked about the Ben 10 versus the Universe trailer.
Yeah,
and I think that got claimed.
But yeah, in season 3, what was it? You tried out the new.
Yeah, it was like I guess I did just kind of shove the entire trailer in there.
Yeah, because you tried out a new thing where we had video backgrounds, right? That was that was new to season 3, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that was new to season 3. That was another thing. Like, I started including clips in like the Scoob review, and like I included music from the movie and stuff. And it's like I had when I first uploaded it. It was like one song and one clip that got claimed, so I fixed those, and then no copyright claims for like 6 months. And then all of a sudden we got a claim on it, and I was like, why? This is for critique.
Then season 3 just kind of ended, and honestly, it was just kind of on a high, like. One reason why I think we had the a bunch of breaks, it's my fault kinda, because I started kind of doing my own thing for a bit, and I still do, making my own little stuff on my own channel, which you should check out, and stuff like that, like just trying to experiment and figure out what my jive is, so that kind of took.
We did do an episode about. Eric and Steven into the Idiotverse. That's also when Eric joined the podcast. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about. I'm looking at the thumbnail now. I forgot.
Right.
Pasta Steven.
Yeah.
Which is just third Steven Prime with like. Blood coming out
hyper realistic. But yeah, that's pretty much the oral history of the Gcast up until this point. I mean, we were the Gcast, now we're the Gamespherecast because it's easier to Google.
I mean, still kind of the same, but it's like it's a little. Gamespherecast gets better results when you search it.
Changed
so, like,
it,
that's
yeah.
why we kind of made the official. But it always was the Gamespherecast.
And now it's back to just Gamespherecast.
It's so like the name technically never changed.
Yeah.
It's just like how we presented it.
What's your let's just go season by season, I guess, and just give like quick takes on how you feel about that season, I guess. Something like season 1, what's your takes? Oh yeah.
Sucks, I wasn't there.
Okay, so as someone who was there, I feel like season 1 was. I treated it like a business, which was the stupidest decision I've ever made. Just acting like this, like right off the bat, was like something I have to take hyper serious. I think at one point we tried to make merch, and try to make a Patreon.
We did talk about making merch. We talked about
Dad
making shirts and stuff. Patreon, which if we had kept that same momentum, we probably would have. Like if we could just hit that spot where like we can like consistently get views and stuff. Then we could talk about doing that again.
We're not at that spot, and honestly, I don't care if we get to that spot. I do this for fun. And then contracts was something that we were trying to figure out. I was 15, which it just shows how like in over my head I was. But yeah, that's like the actual content for season 1. It's okay. It's way more chaotic, and it's definitely like I don't like watching it because I was 15, and it's like, why did I say that? How is this funny? Where's the humor? But yeah, that's my opinion.
Season 1 is just
yeah,
like,
exactly. It's like curse word, yes. Then season 2. What's your opinion on season 2? Considering you were in that one.
Season 2, I feel like was definitely where we started to kind of stand on our own legs a little bit, because it was the first season where we didn't have to depend on we literally were starting from scratch, so like we kind of just had nothing to stand on but our own legs. And the first few episodes were shaky. We did eventually kind of find something that worked, sort of a format, a style that worked, and our thumbnails definitely got
cursed
better.
red background.
Yeah. I don't know why I was so adamant about that up until the Zim episode. I'm like, it looks better without the red. We definitely did a lot of experimentation. Some of it worked, some of it didn't. But it's definitely helped shape the podcast.
Yeah, I think this is probably my favorite season overall, just because like it was consistent. Like every week we got something, and like we were talking about things and stuff.
Pretty much every week we did have.
Like
I think still have like a bit of time where like we didn't get anything.
Didn't we take a break at like I know we took like a break in between season 17 and 18 for like a week. Yeah.
Episodes.
Yeah, it was like a week.
Yeah, and then like a break there, and then there was like a whole month between when we did the Tennyson episode and the first holiday special with. Or not the first holiday special.
It's an exact month because someone didn't release a Christmas special on Christmas. Yeah.
Hey, that was taking a lot longer.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. I just found it funny.
But, yeah, season 2, I'd say it has some of my favorite episodes in it. I wouldn't say it's quite my favorite season. I do still say that the FNAF episode is one of my favorites. Because I went so hard.
Don't we have to do FNAF Part 2 again? Yeah. Well,
yes. Chris and I started recording that, and then we were like, this doesn't really work.
Right, because you need
the Scoob episode though is also one of my favorites because I also went hard with that.
I think if we had to go with like my favorite, I think probably just like something that I want to do again is something along the lines of the top 10 Spider-Man, because I think it encapsulated just the perfect amount of like things we like and like comedy, because wasn't the last pick Italian Spider-Man? If I remember, yes, it was
Italian Spider-Man. Who threw Spider-Man?
I think I did, because I had all the joke characters. Like I had Lego. No, I had Electric Avenue Spider-Man. Never mind. Who had Spider-Man? Was it you?
It might have been me, because I don't know if Chris knew about Spider-Man.
I know Chris had... I
don't know. We don't even know as much about our own podcast as we think.
I know, like, Chris... yeah, it was you with Spider-Man. Yeah. It's hard to remember these things. This one came out, like, 2 years ago, okay? Cut us some slack. Yeah.
About 2 years ago. But yeah, season 3, I felt like we did kind of start to degrade a little bit, in part because of like the lack of things to talk about, and like we were just kind of like with everything going on. I felt like we definitely weren't nearly as motivated,
or at least like the motivation was in the wrong place. Because like I remember I felt just kind of like drained, because I was just working on my own things, and it's like, why would I want to do the podcast? Like, because like I could be working on something else, and then now I'm just like, I'm not working on anything.
I mean, I feel like that's kind of it's an understandable mindset to have, but I feel like that's an unhealthy mindset to have because, like, the podcast, like, that's something we've been doing for a while, and like we're doing it for fun. But like, if your mindset is like, why would I do that if I want to work on my own projects? That kind of takes away from like the whole idea.
No, yeah, I agree with that completely. That's why. Yeah, no, I agree. Like, and honestly, yeah, I agree with you. I don't know what else to say, but it's just one.
2020 was a weird year for everyone.
Bright side, so at least we averaged one episode a month last year. Because we got 12 out. But
pretty much. We technically got 13, but
technically. But yeah, season 3 is definitely interesting. I just noticed this. Why did the corner switch in the thumbnails?
Oh, so the corner switched in some of the thumbnails just because, like, and I forgot to change it back after the one episode because, like, the Scoob one, the way I had it, the Scoob logo would have been covered by the little black bar with the length of the video on there. So, in order to fix that, I had to move it over, but because, design principles, I had to balance it out, so I moved the logo.
I just noticed.
Side.
I hate that.
And I just never got around to changing it. So it's stuck for the rest of the season.
But yeah, that's the season 3. It was just lack of ideas. I don't know what else to say about it. It's still funny. It still has some really good moments. Like, I think
I remember forever to make
I think one of my favorite moments was
and we used it like
once.
Crap! I didn't use the GNN logo in the thumbnail for the second.
Also, I forgot to say, I didn't know how to use Premiere whenever I did the Sonic episode. Or I did, but I didn't know how to use it like from scratch without importing stuff. So that's why the rendering is horrible.
Yeah.
I know how to use it now, though.
Also, this season I want to try, because we did Killer Bean Forever in season 3. The Killer Bean series is a thing right now. Episode 1 came out months ago, and I think we should try to get running to do that with us.
I think one of my what I was gonna say though, the reason why I'm bringing up the Sonic thing is one of my favorite moments in it is one of my editing jokes I did where it was like, look at my hand, you see the chili dog in it, and I did the hand with the chili dog in it. It's something that sticks out to me. Okay, Paradox, don't make fun of me. And also the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure thing I did. Because that one...
Yeah. There's some other stuff that I don't think we have time to
mention.
Oh,
crap,
right
we're
now,
over an hour. Yeah.
Really long with it. But we can talk about it in another episode this. So...
And season 5
just
opener.
As long. So, I think... Is this the end of the podcast?
No, I'm gonna talk! Anarchy! Yeah, it's the end of the podcast. Who were you people?
Alright.
I've been Steven.
I've been Paradox.
Be sure to check us out on our respective YouTube channels. Mine is Paradox Multimedia. His is Steven of the Spears. This is the Gamespherecast, where we game some spheres. Cast.
Be sure to check us out
and
on
make sure to
Twitter
comment something. And subscribe, please. Yeah.
And like it. You better like it.
We need to do that Mega
better
Man
like
episode,
it.
don't we? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I guess that's the end of the episode. Have a happy holiday. And remember to stay epic. Tom. Da 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 da.